Two little dot.
We are live. Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Janie Marco, one of the co-founders of When She Happens. And as you know by now, we are doing That's What She Said, and super excited to have one of my good friends and inspirational women in my life, Shana Rosenthal, who is going to be talking with us about what she does and how she does it and how she has evolved since all this COVID pandemic things have been going on. So Shana, thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Jamie. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It is absolutely a pleasure, and people are going to automatically want to hear you talk more because of your lovely accent. We love it. I know you hate hearing that, but
I don't mind hearing that. I don't. I'm very proud of my accent. I've tried to get rid of it and blend, but it just keeps coming back.
So funny. And for those that don't know, my husband is English, and so I only married him for the accent. No, I'm kidding.
I won't tell him.
Yeah, but it's out there in the world now. No, we're so glad to have you on. And essentially, the next 15 minutes is going to be about you. We really, as you know, When She Happens, we like to promote our members, and we like to get people to know who they are, because when people know people, like them, and trust them, they do business with them. And what you do is really unique and different. So if you can see at the bottom of our screen, we've got Shana's website there. You can connect with her. But Shana is a hypnotist and a mindset coach. Shana, what is that?
I change the way that people think about themselves and their lives and their circumstances. I help them go from where they are, if they're not happy about that, to where they really want to be, so they can live their life without limits. So essentially, the majority of my clients are people who want to overcome anxious and overwhelmed thinking, control those racing thoughts, and really start to become confident and feel empowered just using their own minds. I often liken the mind like almost like a cell phone, right? And you first get given this cell phone, it's got some apps in there, and you might kind of upload some more apps, right? Over time, you might get a notification of what is it, an upgrade or of the software, right? And we get really busy, so we might put that off a few times, and what we notice is that phone will start to glitch because you have ignored those signs of those upgrades that are needed of the software. And eventually what happens if you ignore those signs often enough, the whole thing just kind of crashes and burns, right?
Yeah.
So I see what I do is very similar. That's a great metaphor, is a very similar thing to what I do is, I help people to upgrade their mindset. I use hypnosis amongst many other modalities, actually, which are too boring to mention right here. But hypnosis seems to be the thing that piques people's interest. There's a lot of misconceptions as to what hypnosis actually is and what it is not. I love dispelling some of those myths. In fact, I spend, we network together, and I spend a lot of time talking to people, about what it is and what it isn't in networking groups, because whenever I introduce myself and say I'm a hypnotist, people kind of step back 3 steps, don't want to look at me, and I've got to very quickly come back from that and really, explain what I do and how and why it's so helpful.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What is one of the biggest myths you hear out there about hypnotists, and what it really is? Share those.
Yeah. One of the biggest myths is mind control, and that, if you go into a hypnotist's office, they're going to control your mind and make you do stupid, strange things like cluck like a chicken, suck lemons, and, do all this weird stuff that you might have seen on TV or those stage hypnosis shows. I will tell you that, there's a place for those stage hypnosis shows, and they are real. But what I do is very different. It's not me controlling my client's mind. It's actually them controlling their mind. Right now, before we start working, they have no control over those subconscious thoughts and habits and behaviors. That's why they need to come and see somebody like me, because as much as they want to change, willpower doesn't seem to be enough in most circumstances. So I can really help them to work with their subconscious mind to create really deep, powerful, permanent change of these habits and behaviors that they just can't seem to do on their own.
It's really incredible. I follow you on your Facebook page and different things, and I saw recently you were talking about anxiety, and the thing was, are you suffering from anxiety? And I don't know anyone right now who does not have a heightened level of anxiety. Right? There's so many moving parts in the world right now. So what are some things that you're doing? I think you do some master classes, you do some sessions. What are some things that people can come to you with anxiety?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say that about 95% of the people that come to me for help over my career, and I've been doing this about 12 years, they have underlying anxiety issues, right? So anxiety is my thing. And I know that what I do is extremely impactful when it comes to anxiety, because anxiety is a state of mind. And the thing with anxiety is, if you don't learn to control it, it will amplify and creep into other areas of your life. And all of a sudden, it's now out of control. And what I do is I help people to learn how to control it, how to recognize it before it even comes, and then learn techniques that they can do themselves, and within very, very short space of time, they've got complete control of it and doesn't bother them anymore. What I tend to do is offer people sort of a menu of services of what I can do to help them, and they can choose, depending on their time, depending on their level of issue that they have, how deeply impacting is it on their life right now, and how much help do they need? Do they want to join one of my groups, for example? Do they want one-to-one sessions with me? And if so, I'll tell them how many sessions I think that they're going to need. And typically it isn't that many. I work with people generally over an 8-week period. Within that 8 weeks, they've got to their goal. And if they haven't, I will keep going until they're done. But typically people see a result within the first session.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, anxiety could be, it really does impact someone completely. It changes everything about your life.
So it does.
Deal with that. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and the ramifications of it when it does get out of control, you're talking about, how it impacts you, not just personally in your family, but also professionally too. You're never going to be at your best if you have these underlying issues, and then it will creep into sleep issues as well. And a lot of people don't realize that sleep, if you're deprived with sleep, you're never going to be performing at your best. And oftentimes sleep issues are a result of anxiety and can be easily fixed.
Yeah, anyone that has children knows what sleep deprivation can do for you. And it does create some craziness. But not only that, anxiety and that stress level has been tied to, disease as well too, where your immune system is so compressed, or not even the word compressed is, but so compromised, I guess.
Well, it's to do with the hormones and the chemicals that are released when you are stressed or anxious. And one of those is cortisol, right? When you're stressed or anxious, you produce more cortisol naturally, right? And there's a reason why that happens biologically. But the issue with it is, if you're producing cortisol on an ongoing basis, it actually does start to diminish your immune system. Mm-hmm. And we know this because I believe I read an article, I can't remember when it was, and I wish I could remember to give you that reference, but the article said that patients who are about to undergo transplant procedures to prepare the body from rejecting the transplant, there's about to go in, they give them cortisol to suppress the immune system. So we know that cortisol, which is an anxiety and stress producing chemical, lowers the immune system. We don't want that.
No, especially now.
Especially now. Yeah.
Well, so how has your business changed, knowing, you know, so many things have gone virtual? What are you doing differently, and how can patients connect with you?
Well, luckily, I have always offered virtual sessions, and so I'm very used to helping people virtually. And I actually still have clients in Europe. I used to use Skype, but I've hopped over to Zoom because it just seems to be more secure. There is no difference to, you know, whether you're in person, face to face, or whether you're looking at somebody over the internet. You can do exactly the same. I run many workshops, classes, group sessions online. The difference since all this started is obviously at the beginning, everything went online. And still I can offer that as a choice. People seem to be more comfortable working with me online. But the great thing is, you know, that sessions don't need to stop. They can continue. And some people, you know, now are even more comfortable with it. People who are local to me that could come and see me face to face, that I would prefer to be in the comfort of their own home. And why not? You know, why not?
Yeah, no kidding. You know, it's like watching a movie at home is so much nicer sometimes than going to the movie theater.
Yeah, in your own surroundings, you know. So yeah, it's you know, nothing's changed, but everything, you know, perception, I guess, of what I do online has changed, because I didn't really talk about it too much before, but now, you know, that being such a great option is people are more interested in still getting help, but online.
That's really great. You know, being a woman business owner, which you are, you own your business, an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of work, and people, their misconceptions are sometimes, you know, they probably work less because they work for themselves, make their own hours, but it takes a lot of work and self-motivation. So where do you go for inspiration and motivation to drive you forward?
So I am very lucky because the community of hypnotherapists globally is thriving. Now, you wouldn't know about this, but I'm kind of right there in the middle. I do a lot of networking with fellow hypnotists, and I'm connected to some of the leaders in our market, I guess you want to call it. And I take a huge amount of inspiration from them. They all have their own unique style. And I kind of pull what I need from each one of them. I keep in close contact with them. I'm in mentorship groups, you know, and I'm a firm believer of investing in myself. As far as mentorship and training, to make sure that I am always sort of learning the latest tools, the latest techniques, because I feel my clients deserve it. If you don't do that, you get stagnant and old and stuck in your ways. And I want to be innovative and, you know, professional and modern and doing, you know, the latest and, you know, most powerful things that I can do for my clients to just feel that they deserve it.
I love it. What types of clients do you teach, who do you coach? What age-wise, type-wise, or is it everyone?
I would say that the majority of my client base are women, 40 plus. However, if somebody comes to me and, you know, they have an issue and I believe I can help them, then I'll offer them the help. But I would say that the people that I attract tends to be 40 plus women and busy women. So they are either professional, or they're career women, or they want to be, or they're an entrepreneur, that, you know, they have a lot going on in their lives. Typically they're mothers too. And, you know, I help them to navigate that more effectively, you know. And the first session that I do 9 times out of 10, I call it an emotional detox, because it helps to release all the pressure that they've been carrying around. It's extremely powerful. I think everybody should have one of those in their lifetime. Yeah.
And you're a therapist. That's all confidential. It's all with you. It's
yeah. I work to a very strict code of ethics. I work under 3 professional bodies, and their code, I choose those because their code of ethics are absolutely watertight. It's very important to me to make sure that, you know, everything is done correctly, ethically, and professionally. Mm-hmm.
Wow, we are at time. Holy
we?
Yes, and I know you have some things to get to, so I just want to end with one thing. First of all, thank you. We love having you being part of the When She Happens group. You did a session for us live last year. It was amazing. People loved it. No surprise to me. I'd like to end with just one question. If you can complete this sentence for us, please. If you really knew me, you would know that. So what should we know about you?
I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
I probably won't surprise you, but I'm going to surprise everybody because I'm going to be silly.
Okay, that's fine.
If you really knew me, you would know that I am a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Yes, you are. Yes.
I had to say it. I'm sorry. I just love his music.
Well, I love it. I love you. Thank you so much for being on this show with us and spending 15 minutes of your busy day with the ladies of When She Happens. We appreciate you, Shana. So thank you. Hopefully we'll do a group session one of these days again soon. That would be amazing.
Love to. I really appreciate the opportunity, Jamie. I love what you do. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We, Kara and I wanted to bring a service to women to connect, and it's all of you guys that made that happen. So thank you. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching live, if you're watching on the replay, whatever it is, we appreciate you. And that's what she said. Make it a great week. Thanks, Shana.
Bye-bye.